Hey there, Chad Hauer here with the Hauer Real Estate Group at Keller Williams. Hope you are doing well. I wanted to address a topic I've been getting from a lot of clients recently, which is, are we in the middle of a real estate bubble right now that's about to pop because it feels awfully similar to what it did back in 2007? So I'm going to dive into that now. Okay, so one of the things I'm looking at here is to compare where we're at right now compared to back in 2007 when we did have the big bubble, is what caused the bubble last time around. A huge portion of it was anybody with a pulse could get a mortgage. So it's very reassuring to see that the mortgage availability, credit availability has not been nearly as overly open to anyone with a pulse as it used to be back during the bubble days. So I've got a graph here to show you that will really demonstrate just the difference of how much easier it was for somebody to get a mortgage back in that era compared to right now. Typically what we'll see is the lending industry will just go from one extreme to another of we'll give anybody a mortgage to no, we won't give anybody a mortgage. So it's been good to see that it appears that they actually have learned their lesson this time around and are being much more tight with that. So you can see here is a perfect example of where we're a long way from where we were back in 2007 for mortgage credit availability. The other thing that I like to look at is interest rates. Right now, you know, the interest rates are so insanely low. A concern is, well, as soon as the interest rates do go up, which they have to sometime soon because they can't continue at the rate they are, then that's going to affect people's ability to buy. That's going to mean there's going to be less buyers for more expensive houses, take buyers out of the pool. Here's another slide though that's really interesting. I think you'll find historically where we have seen interest rate hikes and it didn't devastate our market surprisingly. So if we go back to May of 1983, we can actually see interest rates hiked from 12.6% to 14.67% within about a year's time. And within that same time frame, even though the interest rates jumped, the real estate values also appreciated another 6.6%. We saw that three other times in history. In '87, we saw interest rates go from 9% to 11%, and at that same time, real estate appreciated over 5% in value. Again, in 1993, we saw it jump from 6.83% to 9.2%, and real estate barely appreciated. It did, however, at 1.2%. And then again in 99, we saw it jump from 6.9% to 8.5%. And real estate values appreciated over 10% within that same time. So supply and demand is a big part of it. We were just so low supply. We need more sellers ultimately. There's more buyers than there are sellers. That's just basic supply and demand principles. When we look at Pierce County specifically here, we can see that there's only 1.8 months worth of inventory in all of Pierce County. And to give you some context behind that, what that means is a seller's market is if there's 0 to 4 months of inventory, meaning homes on the market, then that's a seller's market and home prices are on the rise. Right now there's only 1.8 months of inventory. A stable market would be about 5 to 6 months of inventory, and then 7 months or more would be a buyer's market where we see declining values because there's an oversupply of sellers. So we're definitely in a strong market right now. Nobody has a crystal ball of what the future holds, but I can absolutely say that we are in a much, much better situation than we were in 2007 when we had that bubble. So I don't have fears of a bubble. I am projecting we're going to see a correction, and we're already seeing a slowdown of appreciation, but certainly not a bubble where it goes from huge value to no value at all. So I hope that's helpful insight for you. Feel free to give me a call if you have any other questions. Thanks so much.